Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Nicole Gitsky. Well, Kern Public Health confirmed 70 new cases of coronavirus along with one death today. Kern's death toll now stands at 68. Public health officials say there have been a total of 4,558 positive COVID-19 cases in the county since that pandemic began. 83 people are isolated at the local hospitals and more than 1,000 are self-quarantined at home. Over 55,000 residents have tested negative for the virus. Almost 1,000 tests are still pending. Well, the county of Kern has now set up a new tip line specifically for people to submit complaints about local nursing facilities. That is 868-0555. The county says at least 29 of the people who've died from COVID-19 in Kern were nursing home residents. The county's emergency services manager says up to now, county officials haven't heard enough from people who are actually inside these homes, particularly the family members and the residents themselves. They will soon have an email address for you to contact, and they will announce that next week. Well, the owner of Temblor Brewing Company says he had to shut down after a worker tested positive for coronavirus. Owner Don Bynum tells 17 News all employees are being tested for COVID-19. He plans to reopen the restaurant tomorrow. It's not clear as to when management found out about the positive case, but Bynum says they will remain closed until all employees test negative for the virus. And another business is facing COVID-19 concerns. The Bank Sports Lounge out in Taft says they may have had an exposure. Owners say they are shutting things down for a few days. During that time, all employees will get tested for the virus. A professional cleaning crew will be brought in to sanitize the entire lounge. The owners are asking that their customers bear with them during this time as they make their lounge clean and safe. Well, Governor Gavin Newsom issued orders to shut down bars in 7 counties in California. An alarming rise in coronavirus cases triggered the regulation in the hotspots. Bars subject to a shutdown are in the following counties: Los Angeles, Fresno, Kern, San Joaquin, Tulare, King, and Imperial. 8 additional counties have been put on the notice to either close bars or keep them closed for the time being. Public health officials noted that in Los Angeles, there were 2,542 new cases of COVID-19. That's the second highest daily total since the start of the outbreak. The actions taken are to slow the spread and reduce the risk of exposure of COVID-19. Now, Kern County is being taken to court accused of violating the First Amendment during the coronavirus pandemic. That's according to a lawsuit where plaintiffs claim the Kern County Superior Court blocked them from hearing that involved their family members. One plaintiff says her son was arrested and beaten during the recent BPD protest, but she wasn't allowed to see his proceedings in court. Back in March, the court limited public access to courtrooms, saying the move was justified by the public health emergency. The lawsuit says Kern County needs to reopen its courtrooms so criminal prosecutions will not be a secret. Well, Houchin Community Blood Bank is extending their COVID-19 antibody testing indefinitely. Now, due to the overwhelming response, Houchin says they need you to help save someone's life. Houchin says less than 5% of those eligible to donate blood actually do. Now, while you're donating, you'll get a coronavirus antibody test for free. That test looks to see if a donor's blood contains antibodies to the virus. If you receive positive results, you may be eligible to donate convalescent plasma to those suffering from the novel virus. To donate blood, you must schedule an appointment ahead of time at hcbb.com/schedule. Local residents are getting some much-needed supplies. Today, the Bakersfield chapter of the Lynx donated socks and underwear, along with cleaning supplies to the M Street Navigation Center. The chapter received a $1,000 grant to help communities suffering during the pandemic. Those funds help them purchase those undergarments. Now, on Wednesday, the chapter will donate PPE equipment to seniors in need. Well, 2 local groups are helping feed those in need: CSF Medical Foundation and the Community Action Partnership of Kern. They've teamed up to deliver meals to more than 1,200 families. According to the medical director of CSF's Medical Foundation, the goal is to help families that have been hurt by COVID-19. Now, they are distributing those meals today until 2 p.m. and tomorrow from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. Well, happening today, the Kern County Fair Board is set to meet to review plans for the 2020 livestock show and sale. The Fair Board said it will take into consideration what type of livestock show they will have and how it will run in order to conform to Governor Newsom's coronavirus guidelines. The board also plans to take a look at directives and guidance from the California Board of Public Health and the local Kern County Health Department. That meeting is scheduled to start at 5 p.m. Well, a woman and man are reportedly in critical condition after a stabbing in East Bakersfield. Officers were called to the corner of South Owen Street and East 3rd for a report of an assault with a deadly weapon. Police say the man stabbed the woman and tried to cut his own throat. BPD says they received the call from one of the couple's children who said the man stabbed the woman with a pocket knife. Both were taken to the hospital and are listed as critical. Now, this investigation is ongoing. Anyone with information is asked to contact BPD at 327-7111. Well, Kern County Sheriff's deputies are investigating a suspicious death in Oildale. Sheriff's officials say deputies were called to Hurl Avenue just before 3:30 yesterday afternoon for a report of a shooting. Deputies arrived and found a dead woman at the scene. KCSO ruled that death was suspicious. Now homicide detectives are still investigating. Well, a person was killed in a crash on Weed Patch Highway north of Moeller Road. CHP says the crash happened around 8:45 on Weed Patch Highway Saturday night. Witnesses tell CHP that a Mitsubishi sedan was trying to pass traffic in opposing lanes at high speeds. That's when it crashed head-on with a Ford Explorer. The passenger in the Mitsubishi was pronounced dead at the scene. 2 people inside the Explorer were taken to Kern Medical for minor to moderate injuries. CHP says it is not clear what led up to the crash, but they suspect drugs or alcohol could be factors. And the California Highway Patrol is investigating a crash involving a pickup truck that erupted into flames at the Panama Lane on-ramp Saturday. The crash happened at Highway 99 southbound on-ramp at Panama Lane. CHP says the driver was pulled from the truck and surrounding grass caught fire. Those drivers' injuries were described as non-life-threatening. And CHP also responded to a crash involving a motorcyclist in the southbound lanes of Highway 99 Saturday night. The crash happened around 6 p.m. in the southbound lanes of Highway 99 just south of Stockdale Highway. The motorcyclist is reported to have suffered moderate injuries and was rushed to the hospital. CHP says the motorcycle rider was looking away from the road and down at one of his tires and collided in the center median. Well, it's been over a week now since a Southland father was swept into the Kern River, but that search continues today. KCSO says they have been looking for David Godinez since last Saturday near Cow Flat Creek on the Kern River. The Godinez family says they were visiting from Los Angeles on Father's Day when David Godinez went into the river but never came out. He was last seen by his youngest daughter. Search and rescue teams have been looking each morning, but so far he still has not been found. Godinez is the second person to be lost in the river this year. Well, search and rescue crews were called to get a man out of the Kern River in the Cow Flat area. That happened Sunday afternoon. KCSO says they were called to the area off Highway 178 for a report of a man in the river who got pinned between 2 rocks. Kern County Fire assisted in the rescue and say they completed it within minutes of arriving on scene. County Fire says conditions were rough, but they got him out of the water moments before arriving. Now, this serves as an opportunity to remind people of the importance of water safety. Public Health says that while water can be a lot of fun, there can be a risk of serious danger. Most drownings happen when children go unsupervised, so make sure to always keep an eye on the little ones in the pool. This also applies to rivers and lakes that can be unpredictable. Public Health also urges people to get familiar with CPR and other first aid. CPR is a life-saving measure you can perform on someone as you wait for paramedics to arrive. Public Health also advises putting up a fence or a gate to keep children away from a pool if no one is there to watch them. Of course, if you're out on a boat, make sure to wear a life jacket. Well, the family of a teen missing boy of Las Vegas is pleading for the community's help after authorities say he was last seen in Bakersfield. Las Vegas police say 15-year-old Joseph Coronado went missing April 10th and was last spotted a few weeks ago in the area of Panama Lane and Monitor Street. We spoke to Joseph's mother, who is pleading for answers and for the safe return of her teenage son.
Joseph, if you see us, please come home. Please give one of us a call. We need to know you're okay. I love you, son. We love you. Call us. Come home. Give us a call. Please, we're pleading to the community. Help us find Joseph. Whoever knows of Joseph, please have sympathy for my family and I, and please return him.
Coronado is described as 5'5", 150 pounds, brown eyes, and ash blonde hair. Anyone with information is asked to contact Las Vegas Police at 702-828-3111 or Nevada Child Seekers at 702-458-7009.
All right, who's ready for a cool down? I know I am after a very hot weekend. Saturday, we were at 105, yesterday 90s, and we're going to bring back the 80s. For today, it'll be short-lived, and the one thing you see out here is a little bit of haze. Air quality is moderate for us throughout the afternoon. We did see an air quality alert that was in place, but the good news is that has canceled out. We're at 76 in Bakersfield right now with no winds, and I'll tell you, it's nice to see the calmer winds after what we were seeing yesterday as well. And here's a look overnight, 58 degrees. We should be right around 68, so a 10-degree difference there. Normally, our high should be 94, so we'll take the 80s. 112, the record on this date, set back in 1901. Here's a look at temperatures to start off our afternoon. All valley temperatures in the 70s right now, and we've got 60s to lower 70s in the mountains. Tehachapi was in the 40s this morning, 66 right now, 73 for Lake Isabella, and 82 out of Ridgecrest. Here's a look at the satellite and radar, and for the state of California, nothing to show you. We're in the clear from the north to the south. Coastal areas looking great today as well, and this is going to be the case the next 7 days. I see no clouds headed our way. Temperatures today, very nice. 80 in Sacramento, 87 in Fresno, Morro Bay at 67, and 60s and 70s south. We're also seeing some cooler air into parts of Las Vegas. They're at 83 today and under 100 for Phoenix. They should top out near 98. The beaches, 67 degrees. Still going to see some clearing there this afternoon and a west-northwest wind, 5 to 10 miles per hour. I want to talk about what's given us this cool down. So we have a ridge of high pressure to the east of us. We have an area of low pressure over Idaho, and then there is a ridge well out to the west. So everything's kind of jammed up here. So that's allowing for that colder air to come in out of the north, and that's why we're seeing a cooler day today. We will start to see movement as we head into tomorrow with some ridging back in place, but today that's why we're seeing that cooler air. You can see on the Futurecast HD model here, nothing coming into play here. The next 7 days, we're going to remain nice and clear in this model going through at least Sunday for us. Air quality today will be moderate with an AQI at 64, and your forecast calling for a sunny day. 86 in Bakersfield, 87 in Delano, 84 in Taft, and Maricopa at 83. For the mountains in the Kern River Valley, a sunny day, still keeping that breeze around out of the northwest, 15 to 25. No advisories in place, though, for you. 68 in Frazier Park, 71 in Tehachapi. For the Kern River Valley, near 80. 79, Lake Isabella, 80 in Kernville, 79 in Wofford Heights. And then for the desert, we're looking at upper 80s in Ridgecrest, 81 in Mojave, and we could see some wind gusts right around 45. Your extended forecast, 94 tomorrow. So yes, the 90s are going to return, but we're going to try to keep it below 100. We'll be closed for the 4th of July on Saturday and into Sunday of next week. And then for the mountains, we're back into the 80s tomorrow, so about a 10-degree jump. And we'll be in the 80s Tuesday through next Sunday for the 4th of July, 86. And for the Kern River Valley, tomorrow, bump you up 8 degrees from today, and then we're back into those 90s Wednesday through next Sunday for the 4th of July, a high right near 94. So enjoy the 80s while they're here because they're out of here starting tomorrow. Back over to you.
Heads up drivers, a lane closure is scheduled for westbound Truxtun Avenue and California Avenue. The closure has been scheduled for Tuesday, June 30th. Lane closures are expected to be in place between 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. at both locations. The outside westbound lane on Truxtun Avenue will be closed in the vicinity of the West Side Parkway on-ramp to remove the temporary barrier rail alongside the roadway. 2 lanes will be closed in each direction on California Avenue between Mariella Way and Easton Drive. In your 17 Business Watch, Congressman Kevin McCarthy is helping to improve the Meadows Field Airport. Today, McCarthy announced the Federal Aviation Administration awarded the airport $11.1 million in a grant to help with improvements. Now, those improvements include the airport's main taxiway. That grant will help improve the airport's efficiency and make it more pilot-friendly. We'll say goodbye to the LA Galaxy Bakersfield and say hello to the Roadrunners FC. The youth soccer club made the announcement that as of July 1st, they will sport a new name. The club says they have been looking for some time to branch away from their previous affiliation with the MLS club from Carson. The club's players will continue to play in the same fall leagues. Now, we do have Governor Gavin Newsom ready to speak. Let's take it over to him right now and hear what he has to say.
It says you may recall, California was the first state in the nation to formally engage with the CDC, the Trump administration, and others in relationship to this pandemic. We engaged formally by allowing the repatriation of flights from overseas, primarily from mainland China, to come into the state of California. These were conversations that occurred in late January and the early part of February. Those relationships were formalized through a series of agreements that allowed for that repatriation. COVID-19, this pandemic, the coronavirus, as it was referred to at the time, was on our radar screen for many, many weeks before, in fact, it became a framework of reference for the nation. We had the opportunity as well to develop further relationships, not only with the federal government in partnership with the CDC, but also HHS and other federal agencies, particularly FEMA, when it came time to repatriate that cruise ship. You may recall a number of months back, we had a cruise ship off the coast of California, thousands of passengers and crew that we ultimately became responsible for in terms of bringing them back onshore and then bringing them back all across the rest of the country. And for those many, not only passengers, but primarily staff, getting them back home overseas. Those relationships furthered our resolve, our recognition of the imperative to meet this virus head on. Also began the process of protocols and procedures for addressing the need to hospitalize individuals, to test individuals, to provide alternative care sites outside of the hospital system for individuals, and began the process of rationalizing our approach. We formally moved forward as we started to see the spread in Washington State, skilled nursing facilities, and we saw and experienced our first community spread here in the state of California outside those repatriation missions. We moved forward as the first state in the country with a stay-at-home order on March 19th. And that began the process of really developing strategies and partnerships with local health officials, county elected officials, all up and down the state of California. Remember, California's 58 counties, over 470, almost 480 cities. And when we talk about our state, we talk about scale and size and scope that is equivalent to 21 states' populations combined. So it's trying to reconcile our challenge, but also trying to reconcile the differentiation.
All right, you just heard the latest from Governor Gavin Newsom. Now, he is talking about the state's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. He's going all the way back to March 19th when those lockdowns started. Now, you can continue watching Governor Newsom's whole live stream on our Facebook page and on our website, kget.com.